In this video, we are going to look at the solubility of ionic compounds. So before we talk about the solubility, we want to go over some properties of ionic compounds. So if you recall, ionic compounds typically have a high melting point. They dissolve in water. They are very hard and brittle. And they're going to conduct electricity when either dissolved, so in the aqueous state, or molten, which means a pure liquid state. But not all ionic compounds completely dissolve. In fact, some ionic compounds are insoluble, which means they do not dissociate. And the reason why they don't is because the bonds between the ions are too strong to be replaced by the water molecules. So there is a set of rules to help us determine whether a compound is soluble or insoluble, and these are referred to as the solubility rules. So the solubility rules are as follows. All nitrates are soluble. All ammonium or alkali metal compounds are also soluble. All carbonates, phosphates, and hydroxides are insoluble unless they are combined with one of the cations listed in rule number 2. So if they're combined with ammonium or any of these alkali metals, they are soluble. Otherwise, they are insoluble. All chlorides, bromides, and iodides are soluble unless they're combined with silver, lead, or mercury. And all sulfates are soluble unless they're combined with calcium, strontium, barium, radium, or lead. So let's take a look at how we use these solubility rules. We're going to look at 3 compounds and predict whether they are soluble or insoluble. So looking at the first one here, our strontium sulfate, that is our last rule, rule number 5. So rule number 5 said that all sulfates were soluble, except when they're combined with certain elements, one of them being strontium. So this, in fact, would be insoluble. In the next one, nitrates, all nitrates are soluble. And it doesn't really matter what they're combined with. So this was rule number 1, and this means that sodium nitrate is soluble. The last one, our lead chloride, refers back to rule number 4. And rule number 4 said that chlorides are soluble except when they're combined with lead, as well as silver and mercury. So because this chlorine is combined with lead, it means that this compound is insoluble.